DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life.
And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100. This is the word right here.
Here's an important message from our sponsor, and then Groucho will conduct business with our first couple.
In the old days, you had to shift gears with clumsy controls like this. Wasn't easy. Later, the gear shift moved up in the world to the steering column. And then automatic transmissions brought complicated dials and levers that were impressive, but sometimes confusing. But now, here's the quickest, smoothest, easiest method of drive selection ever invented. DeSoto's great new push-button driving. A positive mechanical control. To put the car in any driving range, just push a button and go. DeSoto push-button driving is safer, too. It's out of children's reach, and it's designed so you can't make a mistake. Push-button driving is easier and safer. And to see just how fast and smooth it is, watch this professional stunt driver. Now, push-button driving is such an obvious improvement, competing cars will imitate it next year or the year after. But DeSoto has push-button driving now, so why wait? Tomorrow, drive a beautiful new DeSoto with push-button driving. You can enjoy the best this summer. Drive and price a DeSoto tomorrow.
Groucho, I'd like you to meet Mamie Macera and Albert Hibbs. So, folks, you in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Knife. Say the secret word and you divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Mamie Macera and Albert Hibbs. Huh?
Macera is the name.
What?
Macera.
Macera?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Now, your name is Albert Hobbs, huh?
Hibbs.
Hibbs? Hobbs? Now, where are you from? Albert? Is that what you call yourself?
Al.
Albert?
Al. I'm from Ohio.
You don't mind if I call you Albert, huh?
No, I don't mind. You can call me Albert if you wish. You can call me Al if you wish, too.
Well, I'll alternate. I'll call you Al one time and Albert the next time.
All right.
And then in between, I'll call you Mr. Hibbs, huh?
Wibbs, Hibbs, Hobbs.
Hibbs, yes.
Okay. I'm from Ohio, anyhow.
You're...
Akron, Cincinnati, Chillicothe. Ohio.
Chillicothe, isn't that half lima beans and half corn?
No, it's halfway between Columbus and the Ohio River.
Now, why did you come to California? Just to get away from Akron and that rubber smell?
No, I came here to go to school, Groucho. I came to go out to college here in California.
You go to school?
Yes, to Caltech. I went there to study physics, and from there back to Chicago to study math, and then finally returned to Caltech to get a doctor's degree in physics.
Well, you have a very good background in science and math, Al. What did you do when you got out of school?
Well, when I finished with the math study in Chicago, I figured out a system for beating roulette wheels.
For this, you went to 3 colleges? Where did you go to? Where did you go with this system?
Well, a friend of mine and I went to Reno and tried the system out there.
Uh-huh. How'd it work?
It worked pretty well. We found several wheels that had some imperfections in them. We were able to take advantage of these imperfections and...
Well, isn't that dishonest?
No, the wheels are perfectly straight. They just had some imperfections.
Well, how did you know they had imperfections?
We studied for months. We kept track of which numbers came up on the wheels. And after several months of this, we cleared about $12,000. And we used this to buy a yacht and sail for about 1.5 years around the Caribbean.
This is no Schlemiel, this fellow here. Well, parents, there you are. Clear proof of the benefits of a scientific education. Al, do you think you could beat any wheel in the country with your system?
No, it has to have certain imperfections.
Well, then you ought to have a good chance with our wheel tonight.
It has certain imperfections. Of course, I'd have to study it for a long time.
It hasn't got any imperfections. It's just crooked, that's all.
Well, that gives me some possibilities.
Yes, it does.
How is it crooked?
Well, after we play the game, I'll explain it to you.
It's too late.
How long have you been married, Mamie? You're a very attractive girl, you know that?
Thank you. I've been married 8.5 years.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, you don't look it. What does he do, your husband?
He's a hod carrier.
A hod carrier? What kind is that? I don't understand.
Well,
What does he do? Carries around hots?
No, he carries a mixture of mortar to the brick masons in order to stick their bricks together.
Oh, well, isn't he mortified when he does this?
Oh, I guess he might be. I know he's tired.
Now, how'd you meet your husband?
Well, I jumped into
You
his...
fell like a ton of bricks, I'll bet, huh?
No, I jumped in his car by mistake.
That's your story.
That is my story. That's what happened.
You jumped in his car. Now, how can you do that? Do you believe that this is possible? That a woman can jump into a strange car by mistake?
Certainly.
Well, you got a great chance to win money here tonight. You'll find us tougher than Reno, old boy.
No imperfections, huh?
No. Now, what did this chap say to you when he saw you sitting in his car? Was he in the car already?
Yes, he was in the car.
And was the car moving?
No, it wasn't. It was still. See, Mother called at the school. I was still going to high school, but she wanted me at home.
Well, doesn't every mother?
Well, she wanted me home sooner than
Well, why
than
that
usual.
particular day did she want you home?
Well, it was important is all I remember, and I had to get home.
Well, if it was important, why have you forgotten it?
It was a long time ago.
I haven't forgotten anything. I know every joke I told when I was 16.
Still telling them.
And yes, and you hear him right here tonight. All right, what did he say when he saw you sitting in his car?
Who's this girl?
Who'd he say this to?
To the girl that was sitting next to him.
Oh, he had a dame in the car besides you, huh?
Uh-huh.
How did you move her out and you get in there?
Well, I didn't get right in there next to him. I sat in the back. And he took me home.
Well, why didn't you get out?
Why should I get out when
Well,
I
you
had
saw
a
a
way
fellow
home?
sitting there with another girl. Why didn't you get out of the car?
Too late once I was in the car, and the door was closed.
Now
so
I
he
know
took
why
me
your
home.
mother used to call for you. I'm surprised she didn't pick you up at noon instead of 3 o'clock. Now, Al, let's get back to you. Huh? Your name is Albert Hobbs, is that right?
Al Webbs.
Al Webbs. Now, besides figuring ways to beat the roulette wheel, what do you do for a living?
I'm a physicist at the Caltech Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
It doesn't mean anything to me, but what specifically are you working on?
Well, we work on development of government missile projects. Some of the work is classified.
Isn't everything classified? They don't tell the people anything anymore. Everything is top secret.
What do you want to know, Groucho?
I want to know how you beat that wheel up in Reno. Well, aside from this mysterious job that you have, what other interests do you have?
Well, for the last few years, I've been working on writing a book.
I've been doing that, too. I hope you find yours less difficult than I do.
Well, how difficult you find
Well,
yours?
mine is very difficult because it's all lies. What is your book about? How to beat the wheel at Reno?
No, it's called Quantum Mechanics and Path Integrals.
Oh, well, that ought to be a terrific seller, huh? Now, what is the plot of this book? Could you reveal that?
Well, the plot is a mathematical exposition of quantum mechanics using a path integral approach and probability amplitudes. This also has applications in other fields. Put you down for a copy?
Why don't you send me a copy and I'll give it a plug on the Pinky Lee Show. Well, you're an interesting and charming and pugnacious couple. And Al, the next time you go to Reno, put a nickel on number 17 for me, will you?
17.
Yes.
Shall I clock it first to make sure it's a good number?
Just let me hear from you, that's all.
For a nickel? Sure, we got her.
Now, you selected Earth, Sea, and Sky. You crook, you.
I'll miss them all. That's
I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. What is another name for the Aurora Borealis?
the Northern Lights.
Northern Lights. Isn't that part of a chicken?
The Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights?
No, the Northern Lights. Doesn't the chicken have lights?
I really have no
Are they
idea.
tail lights when they go around a corner or something?
Our categories Earth, Sea, and Sky.
All right. What planet is commonly called the evening star?
Venus.
Absolutely right.
You now have 2 right.
No comment. Top secret. What is the popular name for the constellation Ursa Major?
The Big Dipper.
You said it, kid.
You now have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have $1,000.
It's also called the Big Bear.
That's right.
That's when she goes to bed at night and takes her clothes off.
I thought she came up at night.
What is the general name? You know, if you want my job, you can have it. And don't think they don't approve of this switch. What is the general name for the study of oceans, tides, and currents?
Oceanography.
Give him the money.
You now have 4,000. 4 right.
Now, Mr. and Mrs. Hobbs, you won $1,000 now. You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $5,000 or $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think about it. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Groucho.
You were lovely. Goodbye.
This is the California desert, a real desert of deep, loose sand, treacherous, soft shoulders, blistering heat. And this is a lovely 1954 DeSoto Automatic on the desert road. Now watch. We're driving this DeSoto Automatic out into the sand. In an ordinary car, it would be almost impossible to move or steer in this type of sand. Watch this, though. The world's newest and finest fully automatic transmission, Power Flight transmission, lets the DeSoto Automatic accelerate smoothly, steadily, evenly with great power, even here. And steering is simple, even through heavy, treacherous sand, with DeSoto full-time power steering. The power steering that works for you all the time, makes turning the steering wheel as easy as dialing a phone. There are hundreds of reasons why this lovely 1954 DeSoto deserves the name automatic. Reasons you should discover for yourself. Go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealer soon. See and drive the beautiful, stylish, distinctive 1954 DeSoto Automatic. It's available in 2 full series, the mighty 170 horsepower Fire Dome 8 and the brilliant Power Master 6. Convince yourself that this year, DeSoto puts you ahead automatically.
Groucho, we have Georgette Holt and Harold Rudnick waiting to talk to you now. So, folks, you can please and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Harold Rudnick and Georgette Holt. I got that right so far? Well, Georgette, that's a very pretty name. I like that name. Are you related to George Fenneman?
No, sir. Georgette is the feminine of George.
Now, where are you from? Louisiana?
No, I was born in Cairo, Egypt.
Really, huh? Was life any different in Cairo than life in California?
No, because the climate is the same,
It
practically.
is, huh? You have
but-
smog over there?
No.
Now, your name is Harold Rudnick, is that right?
That's
a very
right,
familiar
Groucho.
name.
But I'd rather be called Willie.
You would? Well, why should I call you Willie if your name is Harold?
That's the name of my delicatessen, Willie's of Fairfax.
Is that so? How long have you been in this business?
Well, I was born and raised in a delicatessen.
Born in a delicatessen? Are you married, Willie?
Yes, I am.
Where'd you meet your wife?
In a delicatessen.
Well, was she pickled at the time? Now, is there anything unusual about your restaurant, Willie, that would attract customers other than the fact that you have all these salamis hanging in the window?
I forgot to tell you, we have entertainment at nighttime. My partner's wife plays the accordion, and I sing.
You have a partner?
Yes, sir.
Must be a pretty big establishment. Are you married, Georgia?
Yes, I've been married for 31 years to the same man.
Well, if he's been married 31 years, he's not the same man. I bet he's real cute. How did you meet him, Georgette?
My sister and I were on the subway in New York, and...
You said you came from Egypt.
Well, I was in New York at this time. I mean, when I met my husband. And we were talking away, and he was listening, evidently.
Eavesdropping?
Yes.
Isn't that
And-
despicable?
Well, I had a sort of broad accent at the time.
You still have, Georgette.
I used to say bathroom and things like that, and
You said what?
bathroom.
Bathroom, huh? No wonder he was intrigued. Huh? I guess he was wondering how they found a bathroom in the subway.
He was listening.
But why were you saying bathroom to a strange man?
Not to him. I was talking to my... I didn't say bathroom then. It just my accent was like that.
No. Whenever you use your accent, you say bathroom?
Just I used it to describe my accent.
I see.
So,
What other peculiar pronunciations do you have, Georgette?
well, I say rather.
Oh.
Things
This was
like
to
that.
him in the subway? He says,
No,
where's the
not-
bathroom?
no.
And you says, rather? Well, what happened, Georgette?
Well, we got off, and he got off, and he came up, and he said, where are you from? And I said...
You said from the bathroom, huh? Well, go on with this
So,
saga of life in the subway.
so when I told him that I was born in Egypt, he was fascinated, and of course he started asking me a million questions.
Yeah.
And he
About
said-
what?
About Egypt. And
Oh.
then he said, you see, in those days, someone from Egypt was quite a rarity. Now there's a million of us. So he said...
There's too many to suit me.
So then he said, may I walk you home? And my sister and I said, well, yes, he was very gentlemanly.
It wasn't that. He was looking for a bathroom.
So,
How this leads to love, I don't understand. Well, go on, Georgette. I'm sorry I've interrupted you. It's something I rarely do. You took him home.
I took him home, and it was
And the poor
snowing.
mug was trapped.
He was freezing. It was snowing, so I invited him up to have some hot coffee.
Uh-huh. And your sister was there, too?
Yes.
And she had spoken to him first?
No, he asked me first.
Oh.
And so then,
How much later did you marry him?
3 weeks. That was first sight.
Georgette, I'm going to treasure this stimulating conversation forever. But alas, now we must talk about such crash things
Yeah.
as books and chips and sealing wax and cabbages and things.
Kings.
Now, what's that from?
Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland.
That's very good. Now, you don't win any money, Brent.
No, I know.
Now, let's see how much money you can win in the quiz. You selected a dictionary quiz. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. You ready?
Yes.
If a papoose is an Indian baby, what is a caboose or a caboose?
That's the back of a train.
That's true. I always thought it was corned beef and caboose. That's the word.
You now have one right.
If a rebuke is a reprimand, what is a peruke? P-E-R-U-K-E.
It's a wig.
You said it, kid.
You
A
now
wig is something like a Republican, isn't it?
You now have 2 right.
If anthracite is coal, what is an anchorite?
He's a hermit.
You have 3 right.
Right.
If alimony is an allowance granted by the court, what is antimony or antimony?
Well, that is a black, they use it on the eyes. It's a sort of a black substance, a chemical substance, and it's used to blacken the eyes, I think.
You boys have any comment? We frankly don't know if you're right or wrong.
It's called kohl. K-O-H-L is the other word for it, and it's used by Arabic women on their eyes, and it's antimony.
I'll give you another. Wait, the brain trust is talking it over back there. 3 of the biggest crooks you ever saw in your life. She is right. It says here a metal.
$1,000.
How can you get that smart? Well, you won $1,000. You've said that, huh?
Yes,
Now, you can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to, at the end of the show, and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $5,000 or even $10,000, so go over there and sit down and think about it, and thanks for being on the show.
I thought that was my husband, Groucho. That's why I'm sorry.
Well, if you don't know him after 31 years, you'll...
Whether you want a dependable car for that son in college, a second car for your wife's shopping trips, or a late model low mileage family car, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer can serve you. He has used cars for every purse and purpose. So if you're in the market for a good used car at a really fair price, you'll be wise to hurry to your nearby DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And when you're there, look for the used cars bearing this TV sticker. TV stands for top value. Remember, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer is the only place in town where you can get top value used cars.
Well, Groucho, both of our couples are entitled to a chance at the big money tonight. So let's hear first from Mamie Massera and Albert Hibbs.
Now, you won $1,000 so far. If you decide to try, oh, here comes my nemesis. If you decide to try for the big money and you fail, you wind up with a total of $500. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll keep going.
Well, take a number for $10,000. One of you take a number.
2.
2? Put up a 2, George. You take a number for 5.
9.
2 and 9. Now, if neither number comes up, this question is worth $2,000. Or if neither come up, I should say.
Either way, I understand what you mean.
I wish I did, huh? Well, wheel expert. Give it a turn. This guy's a murderer. You married? Well, that's too bad. After you win this money here tonight, you know, you could take your choice. In a recent visit to the United States, the charming Queen of Greece made a big hit with official Washington. For $5,000, who is this popular and pretty queen?
We're very unsure. We'll guess Helen.
You read it out.
Frederica.
I'm sorry you missed it. Because you were a lot of fun. But you did wind up with 500. That isn't too bad. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Groucho.
George, bring out the next couple.
All right, Groucho, Georgette Holt and Harold Rudnick, would you come back out, please?
Now, you've won $1,000 so far. If you decide to try for the big money and you fail, you wind up with a total of 500. What are you going to do?
We'll try.
You're going to shoot a hit, huh? All right, do you take a number?
I'll take 5.
5? Put up 5 up here, George.
All right.
This is for $10,000. Now, you pick a number.
7.
Put up a number here for $5,000. Your numbers are 5 and 7. Now, if neither of these numbers comes up, this question is worth $2,000. Somebody time it. Hello. Your numbers were 7 and 5, and it landed on 6, so this is worth $2,000. Ready? In the spring of '58, a famous racing driver made the front pages when he was temporarily kidnapped by the Cuban rebels. In October, he retired from racing. For $2,000, what is the name of this world-famous race driver from Argentina? If you don't know, take a stab at it.
Berlioz?
No, it's Juan Fangio, or Fangio, F-A-N-G-I-O.
Never heard of
Very famous, was on the front pages for weeks. I'm sorry you missed it, but you wind up with $500. That isn't too bad. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Thank
You
very
bet your
much,
life.
Thanks.
Bye.
Remember, your DeSoto dealer sells 2 great cars.
the outstanding 170 horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome V8, and the beautiful 54 Plymouth, America's best buy low-price car. DeSoto, Plymouth, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
Friends, go in to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell them Groucho sent you.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Brought to you by your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And don't forget to listen to You Bet Your Life every Wednesday night on radio.
This is George Penniman signing off with a reminder from the National Safety Council. September is Child Safety Month. So parents, teach them to cross at corners, obey signals, and look before crossing.